What's up, everybody, and welcome to Soviet Union Boy Productions, where today we're going to be reviewing the top five best Nerf stocks. Now, another thing before we go to that, I have a dishonorable mention, and yeah, I'm actually debating what I want for like dishonorable mention. It's probably going to have to be the Retaliator Alpha Trooper folding stock, because first of all, they're folding stocks. This one doesn't really work as good. There'll be times where I want it like this and it just pops out automatically. Same thing for when I have it in the same way. Well, it's good for if you want to smuggle a Nerf gun into your friend's house for a sleepover, but you don't have any much room and you're used to using a stock. It is good for it, but the butt part of it is just so small and so uncomfortable. It's just not really reliable. And since this is the older version, the plastic isn't really as good, and whenever you press it down, it has tension to bend. Now, I just got the new Alpha Trooper remodel version, and the stock is okay, and it doesn't really tend to bend, and even when it does bend, it doesn't bend as much as this, and is actually more useful. Now, starting up at number 5, we got the Modulus stock. Now, why this is the normal stock. Now, why this is at such a low place, you ask, is because you can put any type of magazine in it, even the 35 round drum. The size of it in length and width for the part you're gonna rest your shoulder on, it's really small, and it really isn't really comfy. And this thing probably bends more than that stock, or yeah, it actually does, because this actually would bend on me. Like, I have another one that it's just all screwed up. Like, you just put your shoulder on it, you go to the side, you go to that. See, the plastic is just really cheap for this part, so that's why I don't like it. Now, you can also put like 18 round clips and any other clips, like how I said earlier, which is like the only good effect. But even then, like, it's so small way that this actually gets annoying. Either way, whether you're right-handed or not, it gets really annoying really fast. So coming for number 4 is the Retaliator stock. Now, why is this at number 4? Well, I was actually debating this with number 1 to 3, and the reason why I don't like, well, I do like this stock, but I just don't really care for it. Like, I usually use my number 1 stock. Is that it's one of the cool things is that it's bent, but it's so small and not adjustable. And if it's like not electric one, but like a pump action, like it is, like this part actually will be a little bit of a bad thing, because you can have the air come out and hit your eye. And it's actually pretty good for if you're quick drawing it, because you can get into position for aiming down the sights really easy. And coming at number 3 is the Recon stock. Now, you're wondering, you're gonna probably ask, like, why the Recon stock? It's a lot. The Modulus stock is a improvement. Well, yeah, I mean, like, you can't really put 18 round clips nor drums in there, any drum either way. You can only do like 6 clips, but that doesn't really count with me. What I count is more like the comfortability. So let me take off the stocks and I can show you why this is number 3. Now, first of all, these are longer, a lot more longer for the Recon. And second of all, this is a lot more bigger, and in length and width for the stock part, so it's actually a lot more comfy when you actually use it compared to that thing that is sad can be called stock. Like, go buy a Modulus stock that's not for Modulus. And for number 2 is the Vortex. Now nobody really probably remembers the Vortex. Well, I do, because that was like the longest range you're gonna get before in the league. And the stock I want to talk about is the Praxis stock, because this stock, while it is big, it's actually big in a way that's good for me and everybody else, because as you can see here and compare it to any of the others, it's actually a lot more comfy to use. Like, it's very comfy and you'll have no problems with it. And you got 2 rests here. This doesn't really affect whatever your performance, but 2 rests really make a difference, because it goes into your shoulder very easily, and also is very good for like weapons that are like just like in the same length, like this. And coming in at number 1 has to be the Raider. Now, the Raider or the Barricade. Now, the reason why this and the Raider, this is my first Nerf gun, by the way, which is broken, as you can see. And if you didn't see my other video about me reviewing the new Alpha Trooper, when I was like 7 years old, for Easter I got Hungry Hippos, and one time I just thought to myself, oh, maybe I can use this as a BB gun. So for those pieces that you had to collect at Hungry Hippos, I put them down the barrel, and now it jammed the mechanism, so it can only go that far. Strange thing is, you can still open it, and it only goes that far, so you can tell. You can put a dart, you can put a magazine, but this thing hasn't been used so long that it's actually pretty hard to put like a normal magazine and take it out. Like, it actually resists like how it is right now. And I actually want to buy the improved version, which is the Rampage. But going on to the stock, it is adjustable and it is perfect. So if you're like a tiny little 7-year-old, like how 5-year-old, like how I was, this would be good for you. But if you're me like now, then this would be good. So one of the problems it has is that it can only lock into one spot, and then afterwards it's only here or here, and it has to stay here. Well, if you're going over here, you have to press that to go down. But the main problem is how with a stock, you had to literally rest this thing on your shoulder or any part of your body, or just not do wild moves or drop it down, because it will eventually come to the maximum reach. And say you're a 6-year-old and you're used to like this because your arms grew an inch, and then all of a sudden you're in like close quarter combat situation and you like panic, and then it becomes like this, and then you're like off site. Well, the reason why I also bought the Barricade is because a long time ago as well, they also sold one of these versions that had a yellow folding stock, which was actually limited, and was the last time they had the folding stock, and was the only yellow version. And this is actually either going to be my 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th Nerf gun, because I had 3 Barricades, and then my Recon came. But yeah, with the Raider, one of the good things with the Raider is how, like, back then, like, you were most likely to go in close quarters situations because of the range of the classic Nerf guns, which were pretty horrible. and compare that to an elite or an AccuStrike, the elite and the AccuStrike will always beat the classic, unless you load it with the elite or AccuStrike rounds. But even putting like a classic rounds into the or elite rounds into like a classic gun can make it a beast. Now, like, since you would most likely go into situations, like, the best strategy was to go into a corner where you're like against like a really tight spot to the right, and you don't even have to put like a shield down on the rails. You can just use a drum. The drum was your shield, because I remember when I would play, I would always get hit. My drum would always get hit. And yeah, that has to be it for my top 5 Nerf Stocks video. See y'all in the next one.